A data center being built in Wisconsin may have changed what governments can reasonably demand from this industry. The project is called Lighthouse. It is massive, more than 600 acres for data centers. But the interesting part is not its size. It's how the campus is being designed. The company says it will use a closed-loop cooling system. The water circulates through the system instead of being constantly consumed and replaced. At peak operation, Vantage says the entire campus should use about 22,000 gallons of water a day. That's still real water. But a comparable campus using traditional evaporative cooling could use around 5 million gallons a day. That difference matters because Malaysia is now learning what happens when governments welcome a wave of data centers first and start raising standards later. Malaysia became one of Asia's fastest growing data center markets by offering relatively inexpensive land and power. Now communities are pushing back and governments are beginning to demand better efficiency, more renewable energy, and more local economic value. But why are those standards being negotiated after the industry has already arrived? Lighthouse does not prove that every promise made by a data center company should be trusted. And it does not settle every question about electricity, land, public costs, or who benefits. But it proves something important. The technology to reduce much of the environmental damage already exists. So responsible design should no longer be treated as an optional bonus. It should be the minimum price of admission. If a company wants access to land, power, permits, and public infrastructure, it should have to use the best practical cooling system available. It should have to show where its energy will come from. And it should meet those requirements before approval, not after residents discover what was left out of the deal. Malaysia's experience is not simply a warning about data centers. It's a warning about leverage. Governments have the most power before construction begins. Once billions have been committed, the company has contracts, political allies, and enormous pressure on its side. The lesson is not that we should reject every data center. The lesson is that we already know how to demand better ones. The real failure would be approving yesterday's design when tomorrow's design is already being built.